Okay, everybody, we are rolling. I am Jaime Gonzalez, the creator of Voltaic Blood, and I'm here with the great star of Voltaic Blood, Aaron Groben.
Yes, thank you. Pleasure to be here. Thank you for all the claps.
Well, thanks for coming on and talking a little bit about the film and
Yes.
about your experience filming with the great director.
Yeah, the great director, Jaime Gonzalez.
I landed at the orphanage along with a woman's dead body. Remember? Yet to be identified. I need closure. Maybe of revenge.
It's incorporation!
So, the first question I have is, why acting?
Why acting? Oh, why did I get started? How did I get started?
You could do so many other things. Why
Yeah.
acting?
Well,
Aaron.
when I was 10 years old, I saw a community theater production of Grease. And I was
Uh-oh.
like, this is so cool. Like,
Cool.
I was so fascinated by it and was told that there was a movie. And so
Okay.
I watched the movie. And this was the first time at 10 years old when I was watching this movie that it dawned on me, these guys are like doing this for like a job, but like this is what they get to do. And I was fascinated by that, and by the time the credits rolled, I said, when I turn 18, I'm moving to LA and I'm going to be an actor. And that's exactly what I did.
Awesome.
8 years later, yes. And so that was the beginning of why acting, and just that creative bug hit me, and I started training and doing theater and all that. I did films as well in Portland, Oregon before I moved to LA. So when I was 14, I started doing indie films and then modeling at 16, voiceover, hosting, all that kind of stuff. But so that's where it hit me, and I love delving into new characters and story. And speaking of story, we've got quite a story in this one. So there was a lot. There's a whole world in this to jump into and like be transported by and surround myself by, be enveloped in, and so all those are reasons why.
Okay, well, tell us a little bit about the character that you play then in Voltaic Blood, episode 1.
That's right. So Michael, detective. I mean, I'm assuming most people who are watching this have probably seen our episode.
If you haven't, go watch it.
That's right.
Go watch
I
it.
don't know where I'm supposed to look to tell you go watch it. Either all of it. Not that one because that's on you, but either of these. Yeah, so the character, a detective who's obviously still going through the inner turmoil of this great loss, of his own trauma, and then, of course, there's vampires, there's all this. And so, yeah, it was a cool character for me to get to be, like, get to do. Get to kind of like go through those kind of emotions, more of a little bit more stoic and still having that inner emotionality, but kind of the outward stoicism. So for me, with this role, we've talked about this, I often play a lot of very like bombastic characters, right? A lot of very big characters, which is fun. I love as an actor to be able to do both. Play your kind of stoic straight man as well as bombastic characters. And so for this one of the things I was experimenting with while we were shooting was being able to still be entertaining while being more still. And so when I got to watch Voltaic Blood for the first time last night, I was watching that to see like, okay, so were those things I was personally trying to do as an actor, was it entertaining? Was my stillness, was I able to be entertaining in my stillness? And was that character's, like I said, the inner emotionalism able to come out with the outer stoicism?
So you like?
So I think it did. And so hopefully, and yes, I liked the whole thing. I liked the whole story. I liked the whole concept of what we're doing. I'm very into visuals, right? So you want a good story and good acting, but even if it's a good story and good acting, if the visuals aren't there, things can still be kind of boring or something. So I love that in ours, it's so visually appealing as well. The shots, the colors, the lighting, all of that kind of stuff I was very stimulated by in watching it. So I was very, very happy with all of that as well.
Yes, well, that's where you can have a good story and good acting in a theater play, but what makes a film, what elevates that is including that visual element of the cinematography and all those visual effects and all that stuff. So
That's right. That's right.
So you got to have a good style, a good
100%. And I like that. But not every director is a visual director or a visionary director, right? So when you have people who are like Guillermo del Toro, for instance, right? Like they call him like a visionary, a visual director, right? But not everybody is that. And so for this too, I feel like, you have this whole visual plan as well as this story that you've created. You have all these visuals that you wanted to utilize. And I like them.
Yes. And also, speaking about your character,
back to that.
there's a lot of detectives in movies.
Yes.
It's a very...
I'm in fact doing another movie right now as a detective.
Aha.
And so go on. I don't need to interrupt. I'm so sorry. Go on.
It's okay. So it can become a kind of stereotype or cliche
For sure.
of like, okay, he's the badass detective and he doesn't say much, but he knows everything that's going on and he's on top of it. And for this character, I kind of turned that upside down because in a sense, he's young and even though he's a detective, there's forces that he doesn't understand that are working around him, and he is always finding himself in a disadvantageous place and in trouble. And so in a sense, I didn't want to start his story or his arc where he's already like competent. I wanted it to start where he's a little younger, a little greener, and encountering these forces that he doesn't understand. So that kind of takes the audience with him and kind of being surprised and being confused by some of these
100%.
Things that are happening.
And so in future episodes, you'd continue to see that arc. You'd continue to see me become more and more confident and knowing of what's going on versus just being kind of fish out of water scenario.
So he'll start growing and understanding and learning, and part of that is the other character, Gabriel, who is going to start mentoring him and things like that. So we won't reveal all the spoilers, but
stay tuned. Contribute to the funding.
Yes.
To see more. Yeah, let's get more episodes going.
It's really the hook.
I love it. I want to do more episodes.
It's the entry point. I don't know if the rest will be free, but at least we want this as an entry point to get it seen as much as possible.
Fantastic.
And find the audience, because it's a very kind of niche, strange genre.
Honestly, you say, niche, but there's such a people group that wants this kind of thing. When I was watching it last night, I was also thinking and I even said this to you on set, based on the script, based on what I knew we were doing, A24. A24 is such a popular distribution vehicle, and their stuff has a certain pace to it and a certain feel to it. And I feel like this would go so well within that category and for that audience. And there's so many people who want vampire things. There's so many people who want these kind of visuals, as well as an intellectual story and a world they could be transported into. Anyway,
so
give it to A24.
Executives at A24, just call me, okay?
Yeah. Perfect. Perfect.
Contact me, email me.
Yeah, so I think
secretary.
A24 would be great for it. But also, just in general, saying there's an audience for all of those films.
Yes.
So whether this is with A24 or it's not, there's an audience that wants this kind of thing, exactly what it is. And so it's not just niche in a way that only a small percentage of people want it. There's a large percentage of people that want this kind of thing.
Well, yes, I'm hoping to really meet a lot of, because it meets a lot of different
checks up a
circles,
bunch of boxes. Yeah.
But it's kind of like a double-edged sword, I feel, so far. We'll see what happens, but for me it's kind of like a double-edged sword that it does hit the horror, but it's not really a horror film.
Totally.
It does hit the sci-fi, but not really a sci-fi film.
Totally.
So it is kind of a blend that can be its strength and also might be a weakness. So
I see.
We'll see.
It's to me it feels like a thriller because it has horror elements, it has sci-fi elements, but typically you say horror, people are going to expect more blood. There's not really blood in here. There's just vampires.
There is some of it.
Blood. Anyway, but you know what I mean? It's not a slasher.
Yeah.
Michael Myers isn't coming around hacking people up or anything like that. So there's vampires, that's our horror thing, and then all the sci-fi elements. But like to me, it really plays like a thriller with horror and sci-fi elements.
And then there's kind of like an art house kind of feeling to it as well, where
totally
it's just a little strange.
Sure, but I don't think art house in a way that somehow like less than or anything. Like it still looks very like mainstream. And like I said,
well, it's different.
Visual, visionary. Yeah. I like the colors. I like the lighting. For me, that keeps me interested in the story when I'm like, wow, this is great lighting. These are great colors. These are like, keeps me stimulated just being able to watch.
So tell us, you've acted for a long time, like you said, since you were young.
Yeah.
And I want to hear a little bit from your perspective as well. I talked with Victoria a lot about acting as well.
Sure.
Not just about the project, but
yeah.
How have you seen like the acting industry kind of evolve from when you were younger to now? How has it changed?
Plenty of changes since I first got in. Even thinking about going through COVID, think about technology, all these things have totally changed.
Because the industry's changing a lot.
The landscape. The industry is changing all the time because technology is changing at such a quick rate. And then, like I said, COVID also expedited the process of certain things. Like, for instance, used to always be in-person auditions. Now it's majority self-tapes. There's still some in-person. But even for this, you offered it to me, but also on the caveat that I still send you a self-tape. Right?
Yes.
And so, like, I think you wrote it for me in mind as well, with me in mind. Is that
sure?
That's true, right?
I had you in mind as I was writing it.
Sure.
But sure. I can't be 100% until you
see it, exactly.
I watch you embody it, and then I know for sure.
So it was like a loose offer of basically like, I want you to play this role, but I do want to see a tape first just to make sure. Because we had worked together on a rom-com called About Hope. And we got along well on that, and here you had this and whatever. And I was, again, a bombastic character, totally crazy in that movie. But you were like, I think you would be great for this. And so, anyway, self-tapes. Majority self-tapes now instead of in-person. So one thing I'll say about that is I personally prefer self-tapes versus in-person auditions. Okay. I used to have no life outside of this career because
you're driving all the time.
All the time. Anytime I wasn't already on set. I was, for one, on set all the time, so I was having to turn down tons of auditions because you would either just have to be there in person or not. So I was missing ton.
Right.
Or I was already requesting self-tapes, and some were saying yes to that before self-tapes were such a thing. So this way I can actually do them, and I can do them on my time. My gas budget was cut in half because now I'm not driving all over the place on my days off from being on set.
Yeah.
And I can have a life outside. Like, once we were able to go to self-tapes, I was like, oh, I can, have friends again. Not just ones that I call, but ones that I actually see. And, I could have a girlfriend now. I could, oh my gosh, I could, a life can be opened up. I can be more involved in my church. I can, all these kinds of things. Whereas before, no, there was none of that. It was just literally, if I wasn't on set, I was just driving all over town, auditioning all over the place. Which on one hand is a huge blessing. A lot of actors want auditions and aren't even getting them. And so not only was I getting auditions, but I was getting bookings. And so it's a blessing, but it's an even more of a blessing now that I can self-tape and have a life as well outside of acting. That's one way it's changed, right? There's a lot of other crazy things going on with contracts, with AI, with all sorts of stuff that I don't even really care to talk about. But technology is changing things constantly. Social media changes things. There's so many ways. Also, streamers that's been a huge change to things, right? There's not just the movie theaters or Blockbuster or something like that. There's all these streamers, right? And so when I was 10 years old, all I knew was Blockbuster and movie theaters and stuff like that, right? And so it's a totally different dynamic with how much content is being produced. For some people, content is a dirty word or whatever. I don't use it as that. I'm fine with just saying, you know, whatever. There's so many more because there's all these streamers, there's all these platforms. There's so much being made to fill all sorts of places, which is beautiful. As an actor, there's a playground of things to go act in.
Yes.
You know? I don't know. So those are some of the ways in which it's changed.
Interesting. Well, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
So social media is a big part of being an actor now. You got to be everywhere. You got to promote yourself.
Yeah.
Casting people look at how many followers you have.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah, it's not always the end-all, be-all, but for some people, social media is this horrible thing. For me, I try to use it in a very positive, beneficial way. So I make one post a day, and it is always like it's promoting my career, something that I'm doing, whatever I'm shooting that day, or what I have coming out, or etc. And through that, I've been able to book a lot of work from people who I've worked with in the past or people who know people who are seeing what I'm posting and saying, oh my gosh, he did this scene in this movie that maybe I never saw, but I saw him post this, and I have a role just like that in this other movie that I'd like him to do, or whatever it may be. And so I've been able to book a lot just by using my social media. So social media can be a huge asset, not just like a doom-scrolling endeavor.
Yes, definitely a way of letting people know what you're up to and what your projects are. And
and then you can
where to catch your movie.
Voltaic Blood for free on YouTube on October 31st.
That's right. Watch Voltaic Blood.